Hey guys, we're going to be going back to Dark Visions number 13 for Global for a Dark Leviathan Reclear. Before I get into this, I want to make one small correction about the Undying Clear that I posted earlier today. I used Lunafreya for a Reclear, and I did lower damage than I expected, and I couldn't figure out why, and then I watched my video, and I figured out why. I forgot to use Thunder in Peril before we killed the boss. So that's why my damage was a lot lower than I expected. I went back after I figured that out, killed her again, did about 9 billion damage. I still didn't damage cap, but I did a lot better than I did before. So I was supposed to use Ibarra to imperil Thunder on turn 2. I forgot. Yeah, so if you're copying my clear, make sure someone imperils Thunder, like Ibarra. Realm could have done it as well. I didn't do it with anyone. I forgot about it. Yeah, but that's kind of like double Lunafreya's contribution if you're doing the same kind of team. So, sorry about that. I was considering like deleting the video and then re-uploading it, but I'm just going to put out that correction right there. I actually pinned a comment and said, you know, what the problem was. Anyway, we're going to Leviathan. So my first day clear was 34,000. We're going to try to do better here. Now I've got Cobalt Blade Noctis on the team. Now one quick thing about Noctis is I didn't finish farming his Chronicle weapon yet, his second Chronicle weapon. I actually don't want to like Stamina Pot and speed it out and then have 5 days of nothing else to use my energy on. So I'm slow farming it with natural energy regen. I will get it somewhere around Tuesday night. But anyway, the strategy for the team we're about to do doesn't change. Just know if you have 2 of Noctis' Chronicle weapons, that's better than what I'm doing. So I'm going to be missing like 200 to 300 million damage from Noctis being weaker than he would be otherwise, which is fine. But the reason I want to record this early is because I know a lot of people like doing Dark Visions on the weekend, and I'm gonna go ahead and get this out. That way, if people want to copy the clear, they can go ahead and do it while it's still the weekend. Anyway, so this is the team we're going to be using, a wind team. One thing about the Espers is Siren has Bar Water Learn, so that is important. And then Carbuncle has Reflect Learn, that's important as well. The rest of the Espers, you know, just classic builds. So for the whole team, the form that we're going to be starting in on turn 1 needs 100% wind resist. So we're starting in the base form for everyone except for Ferris starting in the shift form. So everyone's base form except Ferris needs 100 wind resist, and then the shift form of Ferris needs 100 wind resist. And then the whole team also needs 40 water resist always. So there we go. So base form Edgar has just got some autofill Esper. I'm sorry, not Esper. Limit gauge. We gave him dual cast, protect, and shell. You can craft these, give him these. This is going to allow us to hit the boss during setup and deal less damage. We don't accidentally push a threshold. You don't want to push the boss below 80% if possible. And then base form 100 wind resist, and then at least 40 water resist. Now, the shift form, or the form we're going to be in later in the fight, for the rest of the team, can all have 0 or better wind. We're going to use 100% wind resist buff starting on turn 2. So, you know, that's good enough for that. Double Spear for his Imperil, jump damage, Aqua Killer. He's going to be secondary DPS behind Noctis. So 175 Aqua and 775 jump. Noctis is wearing the primary gear because he is going to be the biggest DPS unit. He's also going to be a Sword Imperil. Yeah, so base form, 100 wind, at least 40 or more water. There we go. Don't really matter too much else. And then shift form is going to be jumping. He's using swords for his Sword Imperil. Jump damage, at least 0 or better wind, 40 or better water. There we go. There's his setup. Killers. He's the primary DPS. He has maxed out jump, 225 Aqua. And I should mention, base form of Noctis, we want him to be not dual wielding. Same thing for Edgar, base form, not dual wielding. Also, I'm going to mention it now, shift form of Ferris and base form of Lunith are not dual wielding. Because we're going to use all 4 of those to single cast AR on a setup turn for the chain count score. So Dark Lunith is going to be our source of Aqua Killer with his LB, 100 wind, the water's not super important, or at least 40 water in the base form, and there we go. Shift form, you know what, another thing about it, I think he does have slight mana problems, so we're going to give him a little bit of mana regen while I'm thinking of it. That should be enough. Okay, shift form, he's only going to shift on the kill turn, so we don't need any kind of resistances in the shift form, but he's going to be doing his LB on the kill turn. We gave him a sword. He's using the absolute leftover gear, So he's going to be the lowest damage in the team, so he is the last one geared as far as priorities go. And he's got 50 Aqua and 260 LB damage. Yeah. Ferris in the base form is her DPS form, double sword for Noctis in peril. She's geared 3rd priority for my setup. She's going to be the 3rd highest damage dealer on this team. This form is going to be the secondary form, so we can we only need 0 or better wind resist. Evocation, LB damage, there we go. She's got, there's her stats, 280, 240, 230. Shift form is not dual wielding. Rallying Cry to give her something to do, and then just, the resistance is needed. We're going to be in this form on turn 1, so she's got 100 wind and some water. Zahn, pass to provoke evasion, not dual wielding. That is important. He's not dual wielding. He's going to evade the wind on turn 1, so we don't need any wind resistance on him because he's evading. 40 or better water, and we gave him Bushido Freedom, and technically, and dual cast. We actually don't need dual cast. But whatever. Bushido Freedom, and we kept his attack power as low as possible. Because we're going to be using him to Bushido the team, but no one really has an action to give the team Mirage that turn, so we're just going to hit our team with Bushido and pray we don't die. He doesn't kill anyone. So we're going to single cast Bushido and hope no one dies. He's got kind of highish attack power. We're going to see what happens. If I do it and fail, I will mention that on the adjustment phase. Yeah. Anyway, there's Zahn. Bart's is the base form where he's going to be DPSing, so we've got, he has 100 wind very easily, so there we go, 40 water. He's geared for Aqua Killer in the base form. He's going to be a chainer with Brave Blade. Here's his relevant stats, 225 Aqua, and there we go. Shift form, a little bit of LB fill with Dragon's Brush and all that, not dual wielding in the shift form, and he's got the resistances needed, so there we go. And I think that's the whole team. That is. Okay, so we're going to get in here and try this, and if I make a mistake, or if Zahn actually does kill someone with Bushido Freedom, I'll have to make an adjustment and run it again, but otherwise, let's get into it. Alright guys, yep, there was a problem. Zahn hit harder than we expected. We are going to have to adjust this. Let's go. Okay, just give him high defense. We want to give him a little bit of defense because these two got hit really hard. And then Noctis, I mean, he's like basically naked, which is a big problem. Got hit really hard as well by Zahn. I was surprised by hit so hard. Let's do this. Drowned King defense. Okay, that should be fine now. Let's give him a little bit more bulk as well. The rest of the team seemed to be fine. Just Zahn, just Noctis, and where's Light's Vengeance? Oh, there it is. Did Dark Lunath have any free slots? Alright, let's give him a little bit more health. There we go, more health. Okay. Anyway, there we go. Let's try it again. Zahn, you hit way too hard. Make me sad. Alright, so turn 1, we're going to use a Magnus Charge on Ferris. We're just going to guard Noctis. Let's see. Bart is going to LB on turn 1. Lunath is going to bar Waterer. Edgar can just Rally and Cry this turn. And Zahn can just guard this turn. Alright. Yeah, that was amusing that Zahn did so much damage. Anyway, so on this turn, Ferris can just Rally and Cry. There's nothing really to do. Noctis can guard. What else are we doing this turn? Lunath is going to do his Magnus to fill his LB gauge. Let's see. So Bart is going to triple. We're going to level up. Where's this level up? Level up. We're going to White Wind. And we're going to just haste to fill his LB gauge a little bit. Alright, Zahn is going to dual cast, and then we're going to do Reflect on the top 2 units, Edgar and Zahn. And we're going to dual cast Protect and Shell. We're going to protect, we'll protect Edgar, and then we're going to shell Zahn. We're doing it on turn 2 to buff up the boss, and this means it'll be worn off exactly on the kill turn by doing it on turn 2. Alright. Alright, so on this turn, we're going to use Noctis to LB the boss. We're going to shift Barch this turn. So, go ahead and wait for this to finish. That LB, by the way, puts up the Sword in Peril for 6 turns, so that's good. Alright, so Barch in the shift form is going to level to 3. We're going to do a charge of the Magnus, and then just whatever. We can just Wind Cutter Blade. Don't use his cooldowns yet, though. Alright, so that gave the whole party AR frames with Wind's Wake. We're going to single cast all of these, which is very, very easy to chain, which is the reason all of these are single wielding in the current form. And we're going to go ahead and do this with everyone, and that should give us the 100-point chain score. There we go, because we're not chaining for that on the kill turn. Alright, so we're going to get imperiled here, and we're going to we're going to use Zahn to see if he does too much damage again. Let's see here. Zahn is going to Bushido Freedom, our own team. We should be fine this time, please. Okay, much better, much better. We bulked up Luneth and Noctis, so we're good. Okay, so now that we've dispelled our team, we're going to use Luneth to reapply Water Resist. We're going to use Barch to triple cast. We're going to finish leveling up with Job Mastered. We're going to do Magnus again, which puts up a 100% Wind Resist buff. And we're going to amplify with Blessed Wind Crystal for the party. Alright, Edgar is going to shift and use his LB. Now, if his LB isn't ready yet, you could have Dignified King earlier in the fight, but it should be fine. Alright, Noctis is going to shift as well, and we're going to do his Imperil, or his cooldown in the shift form, and then return to Dawn, which is the light Imperil. It'll be still up for the kill turn. And then just Warp Light. Alright, Ferris on this turn is going to use her shifted limit. Do that last, so you deal less damage to the boss. Although because the boss has Protect and Shell, like, we're going to be dealing such minor damage, it's almost irrelevant. Yeah, bouncing Protect and Shell onto the boss makes it very easy to set up during all this. Alright, we're now going to do the shifted limit on Bart to imbue the party. We're going to use Ferris to Magnus again, Soldier's Roar, and then Blessed Fire, whatever, doesn't really matter. We're going to use Luneth to base form limit on this turn. We're going to use Noctis to triple cast these Armiger charges he just unlocked. That's going to boost his modifiers for his jump. Zahn is going to, let's see, we're going to Reflector. We're going to do critical on Luneth for the killer. We're going to do critical on Ferris for the attack and magic buff. And then Projected Mirror. We have the imbue from Bart a moment ago. We did his thing. And then Edgar can Figaro jump out of here. Goodbye. Edgar's the old school, the 2-turn jump. He didn't get buffed like Noctis to be a single-turn jump. Okay, we're going to go back to the base form with Bart, and we're going to triple. We're going to dual Spellblade to unlock his Brave Blade. We're going to Fragments of Courage, and then, doesn't really matter, just something. We don't want to hit the boss, so we'll just Chakra. Let's see. We're going to jump with Noctis. Warp Strike. Does anything else matter before I jump? Luneth will do his Magnus to refill his LB and do an LB damage buff. Ferris is going to go to the base form and do Aero Cannon to do a good Wind in Peril. Yeah, you see all the damage that Ferris did? Now imagine if the boss didn't have magic mitigation and a 200% spirit buff. Like, it would have been painful. Alright, so go ahead and jump Noctis, and Zahn on this turn can just guard. Okay, and we're going to kill next turn, and hopefully deal decent damage. So, my estimated damage, according to my calculations, is somewhere around 3.1 billion or so. So that's the hope here. So Bart's is going to triple Brave Blade. Zahn is going to triple Absolute Mirror of Equity to chain with Bart's. Ferris is, or we're going to shift Luneth, and we're going to do his shifted LB. Ferris going to do the base form LB, and we're going to drop our Dragoons. Alright, so let's go ahead and start it. We're looking for a 53-point chain. I think we did. We're looking for 3.1 or higher billion. Okay, 3.2 billion. So that's about where I calculated it to be. Now, once I get Noctis's second Chronicle weapon, we will have, or I will do somewhere around 200 billion, or 200 million more damage, which will improve the score a little bit. It's not going to be like the biggest deal, but it'll be something. So that brought me to rank 176. Like, that barely even moved me up. So I'm not going to, like, you know, UOC. I was considering, like, maybe UOC and, like, you know, Fang for more jump damage and all. But, I'm not going to. That's fine. I barely even ranked up for doing, like, an extra billion damage from my day 1 clear. Anyway, so there was an updated clear on Leviathan. I'll go back and do it again on Wednesday when I get my second Chronicle weapon. I'll go up a slight amount of damage, not much, but yeah. And as far as Undine, remember, if you're doing the Undine fight from my previous video, make sure you imperil Thunder before you kill the boss. Use either Ibarra or Realm to do that. Okay, so I will see you guys, well, for something. Maybe we'll do some more trials tomorrow or the next day with the new units I pulled recently this week. Anyway, see you then.